Right now, somewhere beneath the endless canopy of the Amazon, something is watching from the water. You would never see it. The river looks calm. The jungle sounds alive. Birds scream overhead. Insects vibrate through the humid air. Branches drip after another tropical storm. But beneath that surface lives one of the most hostile ecosystems on Earth. The Amazon is not just a forest. It is a biological machine operating at insane scale. Over 6.5 million square kilometers of jungle. Tens of thousands of plant species. Millions of insects. Rivers carrying more fresh water than some continents combined. In some areas, a single hectare contains more tree species than entire countries. Every layer of this environment is crowded with predators, parasites, toxins, and creatures evolved specifically to survive where almost nothing gets a second chance. And among all that, life are animals so efficient, so specialized, that even locals who grew up here avoid them with genuine fear. Today we're looking at 5 of the most terrifying creatures in the Amazon. Not movie monsters, not myths. Real animals shaped by millions of years of evolutionary warfare. And by the end of this video, the jungle may stop feeling beautiful and start feeling deeply wrong. Number 1. The black caiman. When people imagine danger in the Amazon, they usually think about piranhas or giant snakes. But the true apex predator of the basin is neither. It's a reptile that has barely changed since prehistoric times because evolution got it almost perfect on the first attempt. The black caiman can grow beyond 6 meters long and weigh close to half a ton. In dark Amazonian water, its nearly black skin makes it almost invisible, especially at night, which is exactly when it hunts. After sunset, the rivers transform. The jungle becomes a wall of noise, frogs, insects, distant animal calls. And somewhere near the surface, a caiman waits completely motionless. Only its eyes and nostrils break the waterline. Shine a flashlight across the river, and suddenly dozens of red reflections appear staring back from the darkness. Tour guides in the Amazon actually search for those glowing eyes during night expeditions. Sometimes, entire shorelines light up like a runway. The caiman eats almost anything it can overpower. Fish, turtles, capybaras, deer, monkeys drinking near the banks. There are documented cases of livestock being dragged directly into the water in front of terrified owners. And unlike smaller caiman species that avoid humans, the black caiman is large enough to view an adult person as prey. Its bite force ranks among the strongest in the animal kingdom. But the bite itself is only the beginning. Once it grabs something, it pulls the victim underwater and begins the death roll, spinning violently to tear flesh apart while the prey drowns. Local fishermen know a brutal survival rule. If your canoe flips where black caimans live, do not swim for shore. Hold on to the boat. A moving body in the water triggers the predator instantly. By the 1960s, humans nearly wiped the species out for its valuable skin. But after hunting restrictions and conservation efforts, populations recovered. Today, hundreds of thousands may once again dominate the rivers of the Amazon night. And somehow, that's only the beginning. Number 2. The Brazilian wandering spider. If spiders already make you uncomfortable, this thing upgrades discomfort into panic. Most spiders build webs and wait. The Brazilian wandering spider does the opposite. It hunts actively, roaming through the jungle floor at night searching for prey. That behavior gave it its name. During the day, it hides in dark, humid places. Fallen logs, cracks in walls, piles of clothing, shoes, banana shipments, human homes. It's roughly the size of a human hand, with legs extended, covered in dense hairs that give it a strangely velvety appearance. And unlike most spiders, it does not retreat when threatened. It stands up. The spider raises its front legs high into the air, exposing bright fangs beneath its body, while swaying side to side like it's deciding whether to attack. And then sometimes it does. Its venom is considered among the most dangerous of any spider on Earth. Guinness World Records once listed it as the world's most venomous spider. The toxin attacks the nervous system almost immediately. Victims experience burning pain, sweating, muscle spasms, heart abnormalities, and in severe cases, respiratory paralysis. For children, untreated bites can become fatal within hours. Fortunately, anti-venom exists. Unfortunately, the spider loves living close to people. Thousands of bites are reported in Brazil every year, many happening when someone simply puts on shoes without checking inside first. In Amazon villages, shaking out your boots every morning isn't paranoia, it's survival. Number 3. The green anaconda. Few animals on Earth have a reputation as monstrous as the anaconda. And unlike many legends, this one barely needs exaggeration. The green anaconda is the heaviest snake alive. Massive females can exceed 7 meters in length and weigh more than 200 kilograms. In 2024, researchers studying remote regions of Ecuador identified what may be an entirely separate species of northern green anaconda, potentially even larger than the southern populations already known to science. This is not the world's longest snake. Reticulated pythons in Southeast Asia can grow longer, but nothing alive matches the anaconda's sheer bulk. Its body is basically pure muscle wrapped in olive green camouflage, designed perfectly for swamp water and flooded forest. And almost its entire life happens in water. On land, the snake is slow and awkward. In rivers and marshes, it becomes something completely different. Silent, fast, nearly invisible. It can drift beneath the surface for hours with only its eyes exposed, waiting motionless beside muddy banks until something comes close enough. Then it explodes forward. The strike happens in fractions of a second. 200 kilograms of muscle launching from dark water, with enough force to knock large animals completely off balance. The snake wraps around the victim instantly, forming coils tighter and tighter. With every breath, the prey exhales. People often imagine constrictor snakes crushing bones. That's mostly wrong. Anacondas kill by shutting down circulation and breathing simultaneously. Blood stops reaching the brain. Pressure builds inside the body. Within minutes, the heart begins to fail. And then comes the swallowing. The jaws of an anaconda are connected by elastic ligaments that allow the mouth to stretch to impossible dimensions. The snake advances its jaws independently, one side at a time, slowly dragging the prey deeper into its body. Capybaras, deer, caimans over 2 meters long, in rare cases, even jaguars. After consuming a massive meal, the snake may not need to eat again for months. It simply hides somewhere warm and motionless, while its digestive system slowly dissolves the animal inside its body. Attacks on humans are uncommon, but not impossible. Reports exist throughout the Amazon basin, and in 2024, a researcher working on a documentary expedition reportedly discovered the remains of a local man inside a giant anaconda. For many Amazonian tribes, the anaconda became more than an animal. It became mythology, a river spirit, a living force connected to the jungle itself. Because when something large enough to swallow a deer disappears silently beneath black water, mythology becomes very easy to understand. Number 4. CANDIRU. Now the horror changes completely. The CANDIRU is tiny, thin as a toothpick, nearly transparent in water. Some species are only a few centimeters long, small enough to disappear between your fingers. You can sometimes see its internal organs through its skin. And somehow, this little parasite has created more nightmares than animals 1,000 times its size. CANDIRU are parasitic catfish living throughout the Amazon basin. Their preferred targets are larger fish. Using extremely sensitive chemical receptors, they detect traces of ammonia and urea released through fish gills during respiration. Once the signal is found, the CANDIRU darts toward the source, slips inside the gill chamber, and anchors itself using backward-facing spines near its head. Then it drinks blood. The process is fast, efficient, and horrifyingly specialized. After feeding, the parasite detaches and disappears back into the murky water. But the fish isn't why the CANDIRU became infamous. For centuries, Amazonian communities passed down terrifying stories, claiming the parasite could enter the human urethra if someone urinated in the river. According to the stories, the fish mistakes the chemical trail for fish respiration, swims inside, becomes lodged using its spines, and causes unbearable pain, bleeding, and blockage requiring surgical removal. The story spread far beyond South America and became one of the most famous horror tales in medical history. For years, many scientists dismissed it as myth or exaggeration. Then in 1997, a Brazilian surgeon documented a reported extraction of a CANDIRU from a patient. The case sparked huge controversy. Some researchers questioned parts of the report. Others argued the event, while extremely rare, may actually be possible. Even today, the debate isn't fully settled. But for people living along Amazon rivers, the threat is treated very seriously. Many refuse to urinate in the water under any circumstances, and honestly, the existence of a transparent blood-drinking parasite that invades living tissue is disturbing enough even without the legends. Number 5. Poison dart frogs. At first glance, they look harmless. Tiny frogs no larger than a thumb. Bright blue, neon yellow, orange, red. Patterns so vivid they barely seem real, like living gemstones sitting on wet jungle leaves beneath the Amazon canopy. And that beauty is the warning. These frogs belong to a group known as poison dart frogs, and some are among the deadliest animals on Earth. Their colors are not decoration. In biology, this is called aposematism. Bright warning coloration evolved to tell predators, touch this and you die. One species in particular stands above the rest, the golden poison frog. It's only about 5 centimeters long, small enough to fit in a child's hand. But a single frog carries enough toxin to kill multiple adult humans. Some estimates suggest enough poison exists in one animal to kill 10 people or even larger mammals. The toxin is called batrachotoxin, one of the most powerful natural poisons ever discovered. It attacks sodium channels inside nerve and muscle cells, disrupting the body's electrical system completely. Paralysis follows, heart rhythm collapses, breathing stops. And unlike snakes or spiders, the frog does not need to bite you. Simply touching its skin can be enough. There is no antidote. Indigenous tribes understood the danger centuries before modern science did. Hunters carefully collected the frogs using leaves to avoid skin contact, then exposed them to heat, so toxin secreted onto the skin surface. The poison was transferred onto blow darts used for hunting monkeys and birds. That's where the English name comes from. Poison dart frogs. The toxin was so effective that a tiny scratch from one dart could kill within minutes, yet the meat of the hunted animal often remained safe to eat because the poison concentration inside the flesh stayed relatively low. Indigenous hunters mastered an incredibly precise biochemical weapon system long before chemistry labs ever existed. But the most fascinating detail is this: the frogs do not actually produce the poison themselves. They acquire it from their diet. Ants, mites, and tiny arthropods consumed in the rainforest contain toxic compounds derived from plants lower in the food chain. The frogs simply accumulate and concentrate those chemicals inside their skin glands. Remove the frogs from the Amazon and feed them ordinary captive diets for several generations, and they become almost completely harmless. The jungle itself creates the poison. That idea may be the most terrifying thing about the Amazon. These creatures are not isolated monsters. They are products of an ecosystem operating with impossible complexity. Every toxin, every camouflage pattern, every predatory behavior evolved through millions of years of constant competition. The black caiman became a perfect ambush predator. The wandering spider became a hyper-aggressive venomous hunter. The anaconda became a living constriction machine. The CANDIRU became a microscopic blood parasite. And the poison frog became a walking biochemical warning sign. None of them are evil. None of them are cruel. They are simply the result of evolution pushed to extremes inside one of the most competitive environments on Earth. That is the real lesson of the Amazon. This forest is not just a beautiful wilderness filled with parrots and waterfalls. It is an evolutionary arms race happening at massive scale. Predators grow deadlier. Venoms become stronger. Parasites become more specialized. Prey becomes more cautious. Every species is reacting to countless others around it, in a chain that has been evolving for tens of millions of years. And we are still discovering new pieces of it. Entire species disappear before science even documents them. Every section of rainforest destroyed may erase organisms carrying evolutionary solutions humanity has never studied. Medicines, chemicals, biological systems unlike anything else on Earth. We are burning a library before reading most of the books inside it. And somewhere tonight, beneath the black water of the Amazon, red eyes are still watching from the dark.